All right, today I'm going to be showing you how to do your research project. So, what I want you to do first is at the top of your paper, somewhere at the top, I would do it right here, I want you to write your first and last name. I'm writing sample, don't write sample. Write your first and last name at the top, in the top left-hand corner. Then I want you somewhere at the top, in real big font, I want you to write mock research. Mock research. I am going to show you exactly what you are going to do for your research project. Right now, I'm showing you how to do it. Okay? So, what you're going to be doing is this. I'm just trying to reiterate. This is not a good day for you to take a nap and not follow along. Because tomorrow when I say, go ahead and get started on your research project, and you look at me and you say, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to say, that's a big bummer. Because I did it with you yesterday. So if you're not actively following along with me, I can't help you. Okay? So, how many questions did you create? 4. You had 4 questions. So you're going to do this 4 times. Once for each of your questions. Are you with me so far? Okay, so we are going to do a mock question, and we are going to just practice what it looks like to do this research project. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put a number. So we're going to pretend like this is question number 1. So we're going to put a 1 right here next to question number. And we're going to write out a question. And this is the question that we're going to practice with. This is not one of your 4, because you already created your 4. This is one that we're just practicing with. So we're going to pretend as if our question is, who was the youngest person accused of witchcraft during the Salem witch trials? That is our question that we're going to answer today for practice. Would I give you a point for this question? No. What's it missing? Question mark. Good. You get 1 point for your question if it has no unclear pronouns and contains a question mark. And those are all things that I checked for on your on your question sheet. I checked for that. So everybody should have no unclear pronouns and have question marks, because that's specifically what I checked for. Now, here's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be taking your question and you're going to be answering it. But there are 2 answer slots here. Does that mean I'm looking for 2 different answers? No. Okay, that's where it gets tricky. I want you to think about it this way. If my question is, what year did Anne Frank die? And I find 5 sources that say that she died in February of 1945. But I find 1 source that says March of 1945. Which one is more believable? February, right? I've got more sources, majority rules. So, you are going to be finding the answer to your question off 2 different websites. You're finding the same answer just in 2 different places to verify that it is correct. I'm going to say that for you one more time. You are finding the answer to your question, the same answer, on two different websites. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. All right. So, here's what we're going to do. All right, we're going to go to Google. This is exactly what you're going to do. What's the first thing that you want to do in order to find the answer to this question? What's the first thing that would pop into your head? Just type in the question, right? So, who was the youngest person accused, be helpful if I spelled it correctly, of witchcraft during the Salem witch trials? Dorothy Good, perfect. Can I use this answer? Why not?
This is not a source.
Well, it is a source. It does come from somewhere. But what does it come from? Wikipedia. Can you use Wikipedia for academic purposes as of this time? No, you cannot. Okay? This is why I'm going to caution you against just typing your questions into Google. Also, does Dorothy Good answer this question fully? No. It just is a name. It doesn't say anything about her being accused of witchcraft. It just says her name. So I would caution you to not just use the first thing that comes up. So I'm going to scroll down. And I'm going to click on this first one. So this one looks good because it's a .org, so that's a pretty good one. Let's see if there's any sort of, like, what do I know about this? Okay, so it's the historic Ipswich. Okay, Ipswich Community House. Do you see any advertisements? No? Okay, that's a good sign. So it looks like they've got some, like, social media, but that's okay. I've got authors, so that's a good sign. I'm going to scroll all the way down so I can see the publishing information. So, let's see. Okay, so this looks like there's a comment section. So it looks like anybody can edit it, but it has their names with it, so it's okay to use that. All right, I'm going to go back up and see if I can find the answer. Oh, good. There's also, like, some sources here. Oh, that's great. Okay, let's see if I can find the answer. I think this is a good one. Let's see. Sarah were homeless beggars. Let's see. Sarah's daughter, Dorothy, was only 4 years old at the time. On March 24th, she was taken custody and was interrogated or examined by the local magistrates for 2 weeks. Does that answer our question? Why does it not answer our question? Well, it does in a roundabout way because it says that she was interrogated. If she wasn't accused, she wouldn't be interrogated. Okay? I'm just waiting for you guys to pay attention to me and not each other. So, we're going to write this down. What do we have to include when it comes to citing something? What do we have to include with it? Ashley? Quotation marks. Very good. So, you're not going to be able to see it on my screen, but I am going to copy over what I have highlighted onto my paper for answer number 1 using quotation marks. So that's what you're going to do. You can't see it on my screen, but that's what's happening. I'm doing quotation marks, and then I am writing down what I have highlighted on this screen right here. I am going to use ellipses after Dorothy because I don't want that middle part that's in quotation mark, or in parentheses. So I'm going to do ... to eliminate that. you think I would give you a point for this alone? What am I missing? A citation, right? We don't know anything about our citation yet, so we're going to skip citation for a second, and we're going to fill in this part down here. This part down here is what's called a source card. It tells us the source that you got the information from. Now, sometimes you're not going to be able to do this fully. Sometimes you're going to have some that you can skip over, okay? The one that you will always have a website URL, because that's how you find the website. You will also always have a website title, and you will always have a date accessed. You may not always have a publisher, okay? So let's go back to our website and fill in the blanks here. Okay, so let's go to the About page. About this site. This website, or first what we can do is we can put in the website URL. I'm going to pull it up on this side so you can see it a little bit clearer since that's a little small. It's historic Ipswich .org. historicipswich.org. Now, you're going to sometimes find that you have websites with longer URLs. That's okay. This one, it just happens to be shorter. Okay? Now, website title. Let's go back. What is the title of this website? Very good. So what we're going to do for website title is do historic Ipswich, and then we're going to do colon on the Massachusetts North Shore. And it'll look like this. North Shore, yes. Okay. Now we're going to look for a publisher. So we're going to go back to our website and look for a publisher. So this says, okay, do you see a publisher? I know you don't see it, but there is one. Gordon Harris. What tells us that that's the publisher? Produced by, is produce like publisher? Sort of, okay. What else do you see next to Gordon Harris? What do you see, Elijah? The copyright. Copyright and published is very, very similar. In fact, it's basically the same for this purpose. Okay? So for publisher, we're going to write Gordon Harris, and then we're going to do 2022. Gordon Harris 2022. The last one is the easiest one you'll do, date accessed. What day did you access this website? Today. So we're going to do November 8th, 2022. What is our default for a citation? What do we always do if we have it? Ashley? No, not quite. What if we don't have this, then we do the website title? Author's last name. And then if no author, we do website title. And this is for citations. So, let's go back to our website and see if we have an author. Nope, doesn't look like it. So what do I need to use instead? The title. So we're going to do historic. So then after our quotation marks here, I'm just going to do it on the next. I don't have enough room there, so I'm just going to do it down here. We're going to do historic Ipswich, period at the end. Now, I need to move kind of quick with this next one, so I'm not going to ask for as much feedback from you as I did with the first one. But now that I've shown you what you're going to do it on this side as well. So we need to find another website that tells us that Dorothy Good was young when she was accused of witchcraft, okay? So, are we going to find this exact quote in another website? No, I hope not, because then they plagiarized, okay? So, we're going to go back to our search results. And I'm going to just click on the next one, grunge. What kind of website is this? Lots of social medias at the top. Okay, it's got a publisher, so I think that's a pretty good option here. It's really recent. It's got an author. I think this one is good. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just type in I'm going to look for Dorothy Good, because I know that that's the answer, right? The answer is Dorothy Good. So I'm going to do Control F, and I'm going to say Dorothy Good. Okay. According to academic, a source. The youngest person accused in the Salem witch trials was Dorothy Good. Does that answer my question? Yes. Okay, perfect. So I am going to make that bigger, and I'm going to write it down on my answer number 2. What do I use around it? Quotation marks. So I'm going to say, according to academic, the youngest person accused in the Salem witch trials was Dorothy Good. I'm going to switch back over so you can see my writing. Give you about 30 more seconds. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to my website, and I'm going to fill in my source card down here. Okay, so let's go back up to the top, and I'm going to scroll back. Okay, so my website title, wow, this is really long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, for my website title, grunge, grunge.com/657, I'm going to put this up, don't worry, 657-063 slash the dot dot dot. What that's going to do is when I'm checking your sources, because I check all of your sources, I may not type in the whole website, but I should be able to kind of connect the dots because you've given me quite a bit of the URL. But I'm not going to have you write out that entire URL because that's just not a good use of our time. Okay? Then I'm going to do my website title. What do you know to be the website title? Grunge. For our publisher, I did find a publisher earlier. I went to the About, but also it's right here because of that copyright. You see the C there? You see that? So Static Media is the publisher. Static Media. And then date access is just today. What's the last thing that I have to do, Ashley? The citation. So first thing we're going to look for is a what? What's the first thing we're going to look for? Author. Good. So let's go back to our website here. Do you see an author? Yep, William Kennedy. Do I put William Kennedy? What do I put? Kennedy. Good. And don't forget to put the period at the end. Okay, this is what you're going to do for all 4 of your questions. You're going to keep this as a sample to use as you're working. Okay, so do not lose this so that you have something to reference while you're working on your research project. Okay? Okay.